He knows he's outgunned. He knows we're going to wear his out.
Previously on the $10,000 drag shootout.
Villain squad just getting an engine, but at least they got one.
We didn't go too crazy with it. Kept it plain and simple. Our build's gonna be plain and simple.
Transmission guy said that somebody fudged up some paperwork and they had it sent economy class. We're in a deep creek right here.
There's not going to be 4 cars at this race unless we go out there and tell them to finish their car.
Dude, Gio's gonna be pissed.
If you don't know Philly, you're scared of Philly. In Philadelphia, people know us as street racing guys, and they know when we come out to the street, we mean business. Out of all the street races I've had, I probably only lost a handful. They ban us out of certain races because they say we're too fast. Once I'm in the car, it is what it is. I'm focused. Nothing else matters. All I'm doing is looking at Bobby, listening to Bobby, whatever he wants me to do, where he wants me to put me in the groove. He reads the road and he tells me, hey, this thing can take some power. Turn it up.
What would you do if I gave you $10,000 to build the quickest drag car possible in only 10 days? 4 teams, 1 race, 1 winner.
I may be out of my element, but he's out of his league.
If you're gonna play the game, you gotta play chess, not checkers.
Man, that looks cheated up to me. Win the motherfucking race.
That's not gonna work.
Bank's still open. You just might not want to go through that drive-thru.
That thing sounded like a weak.
No way that these guys are going to be where they need to be in day 10, but they're working feverishly. We'll see what happens.
Trans brake, matter. Bump. Pow, pow, pow. Wind lights.
I'm excited.
We thought we were really far ahead, but there's just so many little detailed things you start to run into as you're buttoning the car up.
Every single team in here could lose their car and be out a ton of money in this competition. If they win, they get to keep their car and they get $10,000. It's as simple as that.
We got too much on the line out here to run some, half-ass bullshit, in my opinion.
Our injector connectors were actually wrong.
Typical brand new car stuff, seeing what might be working, what might not be working. It looks like they're working on it to see if we can get the fuel leak figured out and then hopefully prime the system, no more leaks, and it'll fire up.
Was thrashing, trying to get that done last second.
The teams are running Renegade racing fuels. Team Mac is running their Pro 120 Plus. It's a leaded fuel, so it's made for dedicated race cars. It has an engine octane rating of about 117. Specific gravity is like 0.70, right in that range.
It was a little nerve-wracking for a second with some of the fuel, getting fuel things, leaks picked up and whatnot.
So it looks like Adam is just punching in the last few things on the base map, making some changes. Holly comes with some really killer base maps. Things are unique, and so you might need to change things here or there. 3-bar to a 5-bar, dial in the final things on the Holly, and it should be good to fire up.
Our team is some bad motherfuckers. Absolutely.
That thing sounded like a weak.
It literally sounds like an uncapped stock Tahoe.
How close are they? A couple days? We might be done racing before that happens.
But big egos don't get you nowhere. They end up biting your in the ass in the long run.
They still have work ahead of them. They're not done, not even freaking close to done. But the fact that it fired up, it might have still a bent rod or two in there. It's awesome. It's really cool to see.
It's day 7. We've still got a team trying to figure out what they're doing for a transmission.
Use use what you can, make the bare minimum work, and Villain Squad, they're kicking it up a notch and getting it done.
The transmission was shipped and paid for to be overnighted here, and we found out that it would not be here until Monday.
Do we wait for those parts to get here, or do we just put something together?
I pulled some strings to get the transmission here. Old Dave Lee busted his butt last night and this morning. He pulled another good transmission. He threw it in a rental car. They drove 21 hours straight.
We're ready to stab that in. Rear end ordeal, suspension ordeal. There's just so many hurdles that we've had to jump over.
He has to be good at delegating, I'll say that. That's the only way that car's gonna get built by what I'm seeing.
Villain Squad's getting their engine in. Yes, I have been waiting for days for that. They are using every single part they can possibly use. The factory exhaust off the car, they're cutting up factory manifolds. They're doing whatever they have to do to make this stuff work.
Day 7, stress. Parts delays. Parts are holding everybody up, killing us. Man, I've been all over California. I probably went from here. I'd have been in Compton. I've been everywhere. We all struggled a little bit with parts in the beginning and whatever. And as us, we didn't just give up. We didn't snap out. You know, we just adapt. You know.
So we are about to make Marcus's day with his PRW aluminum radiator. These mounting holes are so freaking handy. Like, how many radiators have those mounting holes? So you got mounting already built in, and you can swap these. They're all threaded in O-ring. That's freaking slick, and it's huge. If you're overheating, you got some major problems.
We put the flywheel together, put the training in it, and she be running. All right. Sweet. End of the day, she gonna be running.
Team Out in Front's tuner arrived in the nick of time to assist with starting their Mustang.
Carl showed up and I quote his exact words were, "I planned on coming here in flip-flops to enjoy California and tune the car. You guys are still not done yet." Well, easiest way to put that, you can go yourself.
Try to help where I can. You know what I mean?
Carl came in, first day he wanted to do the alternator bracket. That was like out the window.
Cash budget, smoke.
Try to mount the master cylinder. He got the thing so crooked. You know what I mean? We take all that part off. All you have to do is drill one hole. It took me and Bobby 10 minutes to fix it the right way.
And I quote, he said flat out, "All it has to do is work. We're building a car in 10 days. It doesn't have to look good." No, that is not why the we came here.
That's the second thing you touched that you up. Okay, let me make the lower charge pipe out of 16 rubber couplings. Why the would you do that when you got a fabricate in here with all the material you can weld whatever the you want?
Yeah.
That was out the window. So he caught an attitude when I told him his job is to do nothing but the laptop. Stop touching the car, because everything you touch, we have to fix, and you make it look like
We weren't in a race to get fired up. We're in a race to get finished. Hopefully, about 30 seconds away from firing the car, when the El Camino fires up, it's ready to clean all the tools and clean all the stuff up, put a windshield in it, and we can go out there and cut donuts in that thing. That's like we wanted to finish the car. Starting an EFI car up that we done from scratch with turbos, this is it. This is like this. There was no first time. This is the first time.
I believe Jim Howe's chest was a little more poked out at the first of the week than it is at the end of the week.
A little frustrated. Yeah, just a little frustrated. We didn't think we'd have any problems here, but here we are.
Everybody agreed that that mechanical fuel pump was not a smart idea, especially that fuel pump itself. So now they're having fuel issues. Kind of makes sense.
My biggest threat when it comes to the race is going to be myself. I am my biggest threat. I have that want to go fast. I have that want to, put it out there and go. There could be another twist to this. What if we're slow playing it? What if we really know what's going on? What if we really know that if we lag back and we make it look like we're way behind, but we were really on top of our game.
So this year, all the teams are running Spicer U-joints. Number one, obviously, they're 1350, so they're a really big U-joint made for drag racing. And then you can actually see that blue coating. It's to prevent corrosion because a lot of times U-joints are bare cast iron and they rust, and then it creates a dangerous situation of something that could potentially come apart. So this is whoa. Whoa.
Oh, dude, no way. I think the turbo fell down and hit the ground. Dude.
That broke my heart. It was a brand new unit. And just to hear it and see that thing hit the ground like that, I was like, wow.
Drop anything 50 pounds from 5 feet and it puts a dent in something.
Man, I had to step outside. That was bad. You never want to see a turbo drop and hit concrete, let alone from 3 feet up in the air. That thing could be majorly messed up.
Put it on the bench. We're going to take it back apart and see if we can determine how critical this injury may be.
So, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Call it the horsepower wars, God, just call it the fact of what it is. I promise you, you can't make it up.
It is tight. It is really locked up right now. So we're going to take this thing apart and determine if it has some critical injury or something that can be fixed and they can roll on.
Intercooler, BRW radiator, 80mm turbo, 5.3 LS. Looks like these guys are ready to make some stink. Lucas Oil is giving each of the teams their racing oil, high zinc. It has a exclusive additive package to keep the engine safe at high RPM. It's actually designed for high RPM and high performance engines. This is also providing semi-synthetic transmission fluid for all of the automatic transmissions, which is perfect. You need a very high quality automatic transmission fluid when you're upping the pressure, and Lucas is providing these guys with all the fluids and everything they need to make sure the transmissions live and the engines live, the rear gears work how they're supposed to, and the engines assemble smoothly every single time.
We didn't go with the E85 because we're in a budget. So everybody knows E85 turn, you need twice as much fuel injector. Can't afford it.
It's got some good stink to it coming out of that exhaust.
That's a bad.
Now that's what an LS turbo car sounds like. That sounds like a Silverado.
No, it is a Silverado.
Time to slap some stickers on this motherfucker.
Everybody sucks but us.
Can we build a car? Absolutely. Can we make it on the racetrack? Absolutely. But if I don't know, I will seek you out, or I will seek somebody else out who can help me.
I think he comes in, he thinks that his budget is in his pocket, he can make things happen.
You know, I had to call Adam and I said, hey man, like, yes, we are giving each other a hard time, but yes, he is willing to come over and help. Because we didn't bring him over, he volunteered. He was like, hey man, I'll help you, no problem, I'm glad to help.
Yeah, I'm like a Mother Teresa.
Yeah, and then his guys were like, hey, God, stop.
The motor did fire, and it sounded pretty good.
Get home with my S10 and go, Jim telling me how he would have beat me if he just would have been able to start it up. So he can start it up now.
On the other side of the shop, Villain Squad is having their dropped turbo inspected to find out the extent of the damage.
I don't know where to start. I mean, it just personally disappointing.
This is the one that hit the ground from about 3 foot high, landed on the concrete really hard, and it is tight. It is really locked up right now. He had a completely locked up turbo, whether it was turbine or compressor. What it ended up being was the B-bands were not tight, and it allowed the cartridge to separate just enough. Now we got a happy turbo. They're still in business. We needed something good to go for them. That's a good thing right there.
There's just so many hurdles that we've had to jump over.
Gonna put it up on the 2-step, see what kind of boost it makes, maybe touch the bump box a little bit, see if it turns the wheels for us. And after that, we should be good for the dyno. When he started to put it up onto the turbo and onto the converter a little bit, it didn't really want to go up very quickly. It was kind of lazy sounding.
Having a little wastegate issues. Somebody told you it was gonna happen, Carl. Next thing you know, hey, let's put the wastegate back together with no fire ring. And how stupid are you? Got admitted?
No fire ring? There's no fire ring on there.
Nope.
No wonder it won't build boost.
Yep.
Even Brian noticed that.
Talk to our tuner. He put it on. Everything you do, we have to fix. Stop touching.
And it's just not going anywhere, right? And I'm just like, dude, that converter is on fire right now. Like, you don't understand. You're pushing the converter as hard as you can. The motor is just being drugged down super hard because the converter's probably too tight or something's up. Well, tranny's dead.
The lift ain't got to do with it. It's got to do with the racing.
Carl's walking away from the car right now. You can look. He's walking away from the car. Carl's walking in the back of the car, and they're messing with a laptop.
So he spooled the car about 37 times. He done burnt my transmission up, destroyed my torque converter. Couldn't get this spool. I'm not gonna let nobody else hold me back. I'd rather hold myself back and blow my own up if instead of letting somebody else do it.
They don't sound fast. They only have a very limited number of hours to get these things ready, and there's a couple teams that are going to be going on the dyno today, or at least they're scheduled to be on the dyno. Out in front has officially fired their tuner. That's a done deal.
My, how the tables have turned.
The turntables.
So Carl got fired. He didn't live up to his expectations, so he got the boot.
Yeah.
The only thing that's wrong with our car is the tuner.
The problem was in the tune-up, and he could pretty much leave. And now he's standing there with his backpack. It's kind of like taking your dog and just letting him out front and say, go home.
Homegrown is talking about hiring him to tune their car for the track.
Carl is our savior. We brought Carl Pritz in to give us a hand, you know, where we didn't have a hand, where we didn't have a clue.
So the El Camino is on its way to the dyno. Get it strapped down, see what kind of power it's gonna make, see how greedy or not greedy they're gonna get today.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's flawless. Starts out kind of nervous excitement, and then I just I get in the zone and I'm calm and cool and just ready to go. Everything just, I'm not really nervous till I'm getting strapped in and I'm by myself in the car, and then it starts to get to me a little bit, but it's just nervous excitement more than nervousness.
Here we go.
Amanda went flat pedal on it, and about a quarter of a second after flat pedal, this thing sounded like King Kong had been released, and it was like,
And then all of a sudden, everything just went wild. The whole car was shaking. Next thing I knew, I was getting sprayed with water from every direction.
and from where I was standing, it looked like there was a whole lot of work that's going to need to be done here in just a second. Everybody was like, oh God, what do we do? You know.
7 will be hanging out, or 6 will be hanging out.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. Seeing all that water come out, that could be the end of Team Homegrown. They got big hurdles to go over in the next few hours. They don't have much time.
You know when like Fast and Furious, when the floor falls out and all the bolts are and it's like danger to manifold?
Danger to manifold.
And they shut up! That was kind of how like our trains went. It was just like, warning, warning. It was
Hot, smack.
They're running out of time, man. This is a sprint to the end. Still a lot of work to do.